I find it interesting that we're both here and we've had such a different experience of the race, because I love being here, I love the atmosphere, but honestly, being here, I follow the race less than if I was at home, and the stories, sure, I build up like little bits of cool insight and stuff, but I don't have this overall picture of the race like probably you have to have if you're calling it. And like, yeah, at home I just consume everything. It's so good. We take it for granted as sports fans, because I'm here as a sports fan, but we take it for
both
granted
of us.
how much you get from all of this coverage and stuff that you consume.
Yeah, we're spoiled, huh?
So sport, you get the whole story, dude. I don't get the whole story here. I'm up on the hill, I'm walking around, I don't hear everything. You can't consume it all. You don't have anyone tying bits together, putting them out in bite-sized portions. It's like you just get little bits. And how do you do that? If you're calling the race, it's in your interest to know literally everything that's going down.
Yeah, I think that's maybe where it's different for me and you. You're a casual fan watching, and it's awesome. I'm watching practice, and I'm talking to the coaches, talking to the mechanics, definitely talking to the riders, consuming as much as I can online because it is going out there. Or I'm talking to Sven a lot, the photographers. Those guys are doing interviews, the journalists. So yeah, I'm everywhere. I think I got some of my most information this morning.
Really?
Day of the race, I woke up early to prep, just to give you like.
No, please, because I'd actually love to know this information, because as we sit here, I feel like a bit of an idiot because I'm sitting here breaking down a World Cup, a World Championship that I've been at that I don't actually know other than the results.
Yeah, but we're gonna get to what it's like to be at a race, which we keep telling everyone, you've got to go to a race.
Yeah.
You've got to go witness the raw speed. But anyway, so you can feel energy, not to get woohoo, especially last year in Leger. Just being at the finish area, I could feel what riders were, in a weird way, what was nervous, what's going on, everyone's tense, someone flats. You can feel it, like the calm before the storm. That's really important. It's really cool. But anyway, so I was at the finish. I might speak to someone. I bumped into Jordan Williams. I don't know him that well. Got a lot of respect for him. And then I just say, hey, how was yesterday? And he casually said to me it was nowhere near what he expected. That run was probably faster. So I'm like, okay, gauging. It doesn't really need to impress me. I felt that was an authentic answer. Wasn't happy with quali. I think he's got more in the tank. Cool. Boom. Information. Someone to watch. And I go through the pits, speak to Nina's mechanic. Then he quickly tells me Greg's had a big crash on track. I said, this morning? But I can't be everywhere. I'm either at the finish, doing notes, or on the track. And I might miss the track, man. Right? So luckily I was there. Greg's had a big crash. I'm like, oh my goodness. How bad? Get as much info. Then you go to Tane's pits. So she's had this huge crash yesterday. The people, if you haven't seen it, go to her Instagram. Walked away from a pretty big crash. Was in good spirits. Go speak to her dad, the mechanic. What's going on? They're not going to get, like I say, what can you tell me that you're willing to tell me? I'll use what I'm allowed to tell. And they said, well, she's going to race. And then I try to dig a bit more. Then I go over, I see Rachel, how many runs she done? No, she's done 2 practice runs. Okay, but she was thinking of not racing. Now she's ridden 2 practice runs. So you get that sort of information. Then I walk past and I'm seeing Troy with his mechanic. And they're talking about suspension. And I can kind of, I don't want to get, like they're doing their thing. I don't want to give out information that they're keeping secret, but there were fans around, so they were talking. They're talking about, are they going a click or 2, either on compression, rebound. I could gather what they were talking about. To me, that's super interesting. They're going to do 1 more practice run, then they're going to the race. And he's like, okay, are we going to go up in compression? How fast am I going to go? Andy is going up in, actually, I'm not going to give it away. But, they're talking about pressure in their fork from yesterday's run to what they're going to start on, where they think they're going to be for the race, and they're going to adjust accordingly. This is stuff we're lucky to get, right?
Oh, it's so cool, isn't it?
It's pretty cool because you just see them hurtling down the hill, And it's super cool to see, you know, how professional it's got and how serious everyone's taking it. So
Okay, so those
Yeah.
bits of insight are amazing and they're super interesting, but they actually don't help me. Like I get those bits of insight because I'm lucky enough to have friends that are racing and whatever, and I can go and chat to people. But like the overall picture of the race, because I don't know everyone and you don't know everyone.
no,
Like
definitely
you
not.
still gather that from media and media sources online. That's still super
Absolutely,
helpful.
yeah. I think you should, man. You know,
Yeah.
there's people doing interviews. I can't, like you say, you can't get to everyone. I can't get to everyone. So you do as much as you can to build a picture. Yeah, and just to like finish off the comedy thing, you're calling the screen. That you'd have no time. Like what I just told about, I was like, oh, that's amazing. I'm totally going to use this thing about Andy. I start the conversation. Neethling's up at the split. Boom, I got to talk about why he's up at the split. I'm not talking about the PSI and his fork. Boom,
Yeah.
we're done with that. So yeah, you gather all this information and you use like 10% of it or whatever. Oh, I had so much on Greg. You know,
Really? Yeah.
like, I guess he probably did as well, you know, all his friends that came over. He's got this
Yeah,
one
yeah.
live crew, and they were like, we're going to tackle him in the finish line. We're going to make sure he retires if he wins this race. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but whatever. Like, yeah, I mean, everyone's thinking it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
Fort
yeah.
William. That poor, I mean, it's just horrible, you know, like not just because he's a countryman, he's the GOAT, and you don't want to see that.
Oh,
So
it's
you
gutted.
build this story in your head that's going to happen, and you practicing your lines, and then poof, flat tire. You got nothing prepared for that. He doesn't either. It was horrible.
Yeah, man, you don't think about that. Yeah. There's so many one-liners you actually end up having to throw away.
I had some on a page and I lost it.
Do you ever keep them?
What,
Bring
the
them out
notes?
another. They're only relevant in that moment, aren't they? It's so
Yeah.
difficult. Yeah.
I dropped one. I dropped here and there, but anyway, why don't we change gears, because we've always harped on, I think you and I, on coming to a race. So talk me through your day as a fan and watching the racing with your predictions.
Did you enjoy this clip? If so, please like and subscribe. The full episode is available by hitting one of the links on the screen right now, or type the Ride Companion into your favourite podcast app. We've even put links in the show description for you. Cheers!